I think I did something wrong. I feel unsafe. That's what I want to do. Yeah, I would drive to a park and do acrobatics in a field. And this is hell. I made more in 1 week than I did an entire year's worth of salary at my day job. He looked at me like I was an idiot. He's like, quit your job. I'm fortunate that I grew up in a household it was a 3-kid family, 2 parents, both working, walk to schools, walking distance, brother's 7 years older, sister's 4. So it's a good family.
You're the youngest of 3?
I am, yeah.
Nice.
So my parents got to figure out what not to do by the time they got to me.
I hear you.
You know what I mean? And I had my brother and sister to kind of also take care and look at me, look over me as well. So I had it pretty good, man.
Yeah. Where was this?
Huntsville, Alabama.
Alabama. Okay.
Yeah, so I grew up there. Huntsville's like a little bubble in Alabama. Most of what people know about that state is like it's pretty country, but Alabama, Huntsville is kind of like a mini Charlotte. It's like an actual city. It's a pretty good place. I would still live there today if I didn't need to be near a major airport to do my work. So that's why I'm near Charlotte.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was childhood like down there in Huntsville? You play a lot of sports?
Yeah. I had some friends growing up. It's a lot different from things today with like internet and kids like being a little less connected. Yeah, it's a little different. I'm thankful that I had that experience. Because a lot of kids don't have that today. So, I tried sports here and there. The cool thing about my parents, though, and I think they did a really good job of this, is they enroll me in something and I try it. And if I didn't like it, I'd be like, I don't want to go to T-ball anymore. And they'd be like, okay, that's fine. They didn't really, they'd be like, you want to try one more time? Maybe they'd push me a little bit, but they didn't force me into anything. And, that's.
So did you try a bunch of stuff when you were little?
Yeah, soccer for a couple of years, T-ball for like 3 games. I'm like, I hate this. I don't know why I didn't like it. A couple things here and there. Roller hockey, I kind of got into that for a bit. That was my interest. But, mainly, honestly, I just want to play video games and sit in my room. And some friends local to me, played video games. We play outside, drink all the stuff from his parents' tasty drink fridge in their garage and stuff. So it's fun, I mean, it was a nice mixture of kid plays in the house playing video games a lot, but back then the internet wasn't as a thing yet. So eventually you just kind of get bored. I'm just going to go outside and walk around. Yeah. And you end up doing something.
Come home when the street lights come on.
Yeah.
Yep. Very
so
cool.
It's good childhood.
Cool. So you tried a few sports here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Were you into, what else were you into? What were your hobbies when you were, video games, you said? Were you drama club? Were you, what were you in school? What kind of student were you?
Man, as a student, this never changed. And it never did. All the way through college, it was like this. I was the kid that whatever was like minimum passable, which was like B-ish, like C, it's okay, but like at least get B's, you're fine. And I just made sure I figured out a way just to get the grades in so I can do the things that I wanted to do. I even did that in college, man. Just like I was bad. I just crammed for tests sometimes. Just be like, because I was too busy in college in particular. My workouts and my training were so important to me. I just needed to figure out a way to get through college, to get the grades, not fail, and then go do the thing that was really important to me, which was exercise.
Well, I think it's funny too, because a lot of people, I feel like they see someone like you who's so successful and so driven and dedicated to what you do now that they feel like, oh, he must have been like that his whole life with everything he's done, right? And a lot of times you hear that school was usually the one thing that people like you weren't that passionate about or that dedicated to, right? You were the opposite, which kind of led you down a different path.
Yeah.
And, whereas a lot of other kids stayed on that academic path and they were, straight A students and they went a different route and became, in the finance world or something like that. So that lack of discipline in school allowed you to have discipline in other areas that took you down a different path.
I was just trying to get school out of my way.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to.
I can relate to that.
It was the same when I got into the workforce as well. I just wanted a job that was just get it out of my way. Let me make enough money just to be okay. And then I could focus on my athletics, which was, personal athletics at the time was acrobatics, the tricking, weightlifting.
And now we're talking about more into college days.
Yeah, this is. I
so fast forward. No, that's fine. So fast forward a little bit. Take me there. How did you start there in college? What got you first into acrobatics and lifting and all that in college?
Yeah. So originally, I got into the acrobatics stuff because I was in martial arts when I was 14. That was my first this is what I want to do type thing, as opposed to a kid that's trying.
So I'm going to rewind a little bit more then. So at 14, when you said martial arts, what was it that drew you to that?
I had a friend invite me to a class. Okay. So before that, I talk about roller hockey outside, playing around with friends. And at a certain point, these friends, there's 1 year age difference. They go to high school. I'm in middle school. And so all 3 or 4 of them dump me at the same time, basically like excommunicate me from their group type thing. And I can remember crying in my bathtub as like a 12 or 13-year-old. I didn't have any friends anymore.
I mean, traumatizing at that age.
Yeah. It's okay. I'm fine. I don't hold it against them. They're cool. They're fine. Whatever. I don't know what happened to them. But I remember crying in my bathtub because I didn't have any friends. And I was just, and then there was a guy at school I used to think was a total dork. Like I used to kind of like make fun of him here and there, but now I didn't have any friends anymore. So I started talking to Eric. He's a classmate in 8th grade. And he's, I'm just start talking to this guy I would have never talked to before. And he invites me. I found out he's a black belt. I didn't know he was a black belt in Taekwondo, So he invites me to a class. And now we're friends. We're still friends today. And when I got in the Taekwondo class, I was serious about it. I did Taekwondo for 3 or 4 years.
Were you serious right away when first class, you fell in love with it?
Yeah. Yeah, right away.
You knew that it was something that you were going to.
Yeah, I loved it.
You want to stick with.
It made me
because it seems like there was a lot of other things you were in and out of.
Yes.
Right. So when you found Taekwondo, what was it that just said, you tried T-ball, you tried soccer, you did this and that. But when Taekwondo came around, you're like, this is it. Do you know what it was?
I think that might have been the only thing I tried before that was not a team sport, if you think about it.
Okay.
Yeah, I never thought about that. It's a great question because everything else is like there's other people and it's a team. It's one side versus the other. This is just me.
You against you.
Yeah, and so they're getting me throwing some kick. I can remember in the locker room, Eric going, "Hey, let's do a stretch kick. Come on!" And he kicks like a full-on stretch kick, and I was like, "Okay." I can remember trying as hard as I could. I could only get it to like my waist level. I was trying as hard as I could. I couldn't kick higher than that. So it's like I saw like I can go from here to there. Like there's something to shoot for. And then you start taking these classes. I start seeing rapid flexibility improvements class to class. Like by the time I'm a yellow belt, which is 2 months later, I'm kicking head high too.
Right.
And I'm halfway into splits just from taking.
So starting off, it wasn't like you were a natural.
Oh no.
You just loved the possibilities and the potential that you saw and what you could get to.
Yeah.
So very goal oriented.
And I had a friend.
Yeah.
So I had a new friend. I wasn't by myself crying in my bathtub. I had a buddy. And we were doing Taekwondo together. And then, so what happens is we do that. I'm doing that for a couple of years. And then he says, go to this website. And it's BILANG.com. Belong is a Swedish guy. Billy Belong had a website called Martial Arts Tricking. And this guy from Sweden was uploading these videos of the West Coast martial arts teams and other people, these 2 or 3 minute videos of them doing what's called tricking, which is flips, twists, and kicks. I'd never seen.
I learned that through your website. So.
It's a terrible name, tricking. Unfortunately, it's one of the reasons I think it never spread as much as it could have because it was just misnamed.
Yeah,
it's not a good name. But I saw these videos and my head exploded, man. I was just like, because doing Taekwondo for like a year and a half at that point, I was a purple belt. I thought I was like a badass. My self-esteem went from 0 to like now I'm cool. Like I'm the man. And I see these videos, I'm like, I'm not cool anymore. I'm not cool anymore. I want to do that. That's what I want to do.
Yeah,
and that is what I started to try to teach myself in my backyard.
That was your new goals now.
Yeah. My hair's standing up on my arms right now, just thinking about that first, like, what is this?
So now at that point you were purple belt.
Yeah.
Were you more interested in doing that or getting your black belt?
Well, both, as of course you're that close.
Of course you want to get to that. But so you continued to strive for that black belt as hard as you could, but
I did.
Mixed in the tricking as well.
Yeah, I started mixing the tricking, and they were like in the class. Like Taekwondo is the way of the foot. It's very kicking, high kick, jump kick oriented martial art. So a lot of the moves were like really extreme versions of that, and they were kind of okay with that. And when we started throwing in like backflips and stuff, which I'm trying to learn that, and aerials, which are like no-handed cartwheels as well, because it's part of the tricking. Is like it's a mixture of everything. They're like, I don't know about that. You can do the kicks, but you can't do those. So they start limiting what you can and cannot do, and they're kind of like, they're not as accepting of certain.
So you kind of had to do 2 sports at once at that point.
It's a little bit, yeah. It's kind of like I'm practicing. I'm doing sparring and katas and Taekwondo, and then I'm going out to baseball fields by myself, and sometimes with Eric. And trying to throw down tricks and based on what we saw in those videos.
So what age were you at this point?
That would have been 14, 15, 16-ish.
So within that was in the first couple years of doing that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Great. So you continued that on through high school and then into college.
Yeah.
Is that when you got into lifting?
There's a couple things there. So here's the lifting happened because when I was in high school as a junior or a sophomore, you can't drive. Okay. Your parents have to pick you up. And there's a gym that opens up right across the street. They're like, we got you a gym membership. We don't care what you say. You go there after school and you wait. You can work out if you want, or you can just sit in the lobby and do your homework. But we can't pick you up until we're off work. So you go and you wait to get picked up from school in a gym. What do you think you're going to do? You're like, I don't want to freaking do my homework.
Yeah.
I'm going to go, what is this? This is called a low row machine. Okay. What are these? What is this exercise? You're talking to another kid that's working out there. I can remember still talking to that kid. He was pretty jacked, had a necklace on. He's doing dips, shirtless in this gym for some reason. Why was he shirtless? Now that I think about it, I don't know why he was shirtless in that gym. But I'm like, what is this exercise called? He goes, these are dips. Like, this is to build this and this. So I'm doing dips with them and stuff. And it's just, it kind of.
So it's kind of an accidental discovery of this new.
So I'm tricking, you know, and the other thing is I opened a website called TricksTutorials.com, which fortunately was way more popular than it should have been back then. It was one of the largest forums that existed. It was 10,000 members before I closed it.
That's what I heard. So it was like the biggest platform outside of social media.
It was before social media.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I had this large group of people. I was the admin of this website. Gatherings were being organized. So I had a lot of going on in this. I was really connected to the community. There's a lot of I was really into all of this.
Now, was there a lot of that locally to you, or people coming from around the country? How was it?
It's all other places, not locally at all. It's just me and Eric tricking locally, trying to find open gyms from gymnastics and cheer gyms here and there. But so I was like posting tutorials online, meeting people online, posting
So this is even early days of the internet, right? Like you were very early.
This is 2002 to 2009.
Right. So there was plenty of websites out there, but for a kid to be building a website and doing that was very early.
And for it to take off.
Right.
Yeah, and for it to take off, it's kind of like you looking back. Like I still have a lot of friends today. So this kind of gives you a reason why when I was going through college, you know, which I graduated in 2009, I was like, I'm not really there. I'm just trying to pass, and then I got to go run my website. You know, plan the next gathering, which is where they all get together and they throw down and make a video and trick and stuff. And then I'm trying to get better and better at this.
So now, taking to those college days real quick, what made you go to college? And why?
Yeah.
What did you study?
It's just my parents had my college paid for when I was a kid, thankfully. And they're like, to me, it was like, you don't question as a kid, do I go to high school? It's just like middle school, high school. Yeah, you just do it. Just finish it.
Yep.
So they had my college paid for. And I was just like, in my brain, I still remember it was just one of those things was like, yeah, you just go to college, you just do it, you finish, you just check off the box.
Yep.
So there was no, am I going to college? And I was like, it's already paid for. It's right there. You're going to go. I was like, okay. You know, so it's just like that.
So you just want to, again, another thing. And that's kind of how I was. I want to go get that piece of paper.
Yeah.
Right. I'm doing something completely different now, obviously, than what I went to college for.
Me too.
Go to college for this. And, but yeah, it's interesting because I think nowadays too, there are so many other choices. For me, it was military or college.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what you did.
Yeah.
And if you wanted to get out, coming from a small town, if you wanted to get out of that small town lifestyle, you had to do one of those two things.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like nowadays you don't have as much pressure to have to do that.
Yeah.
There's other avenues. And I think the internet opened that up.
It did, but it also opened up the doors to competition as well.
Yep.
So I'm not saying it's easier, it's different.
Absolutely.
Some things are easier, some things are harder, but I don't know much about your background. Did you go to college?
I did, yeah. So I did my 4 years and got out.
Okay, me too.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got your bachelor's of?
So I had a recreation management and business economics.
Okay.
So I had a dual major there just because they were easy to get together.
Yeah.
I had a couple more classes. But no, I mean, I had a pretty severe learning disability that was diagnosed during college that I didn't know I had.
Really?
Yeah.
There's no way you have a learning disability.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You know, you guess you never know, right?
Oh, wow.
Visual auditory learning disorder with dyslexia. Yeah.
Really?
Yep. Not many people know that about me. But
there's no way I would have ever figured it out based on communicating with you and seeing how we work together today.
Yeah. Well, some people, and there's ADHD, of course, you got to throw in there as well. People see that all the time. Everything I got going on around here. But that's an overdiagnosed one that I don't even like to mention. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, I did the same thing. I just wanted to get my 4 years in. And
so this is kind of similar to your experience?
A little bit, but I didn't actually find fitness as a full-time thing as a serious thing until after college.
Okay.
Right. I participated in more of the fun recreational stuff in college.
Okay.
And I was a baseball player and I was hoping to play. I blew up my shoulder So I wasn't able to, my
Your
first
right
year.
shoulder?
Yeah. I blew my right shoulder first year. And after that, my baseball career was done.
Mm-hmm.
So I worked. I had to pay my way through college. So my college wasn't paid for. I had a little bit of scholarship, but I had to work full time. So I worked 2 jobs in class, worked out a little bit, played basketball here and there.
Yeah.
But spent a lot of time out. So I came from a very strict family.
Okay.
Did not party throughout high school. Did a little bit in my senior year, but my mom, ran a pretty tight ship for us. Luckily, we all needed it. But so I kind of let loose when I got to college.
Okay.
And then,
well, I'm glad you had that experience.
Oh yeah,
I didn't.
Yeah.
I was so obsessed with logging into my website and talking to people from frickin' Canada and Norway. I didn't even looking back. I'm like, I probably should have talked to some more people around me, man.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue one way or the other, right?
Yeah.
The part of my days that I wish I remember more of my college days, and I had more experience like that, And I for me, hard work was always a lesson that I learned from my grandfather, especially, and my family around me. That I just knew that to get through college, I was going to work hard, but I played hard too. So, like I said, I worked 2 jobs, did what I had to do to make the money.
Yeah.
Wasn't great in school, but I wanted to get good grades, and I was the first one in my family to go through college. So I was like, I got to represent. I got to do something.
Sure.
So I wanted to do decent. So I had to work hard at everything I did, but that's all that was important to me. Just making sure whatever I was doing, I was working hard at it.
Yeah.
But then on the off time, I played real hard too.
Recreational management, what'd you say?
Yep. So recreation management
and business?
Recreation leisure.
Minor in.
And then with business economics.
Okay. I could tell you how I got I got a degree in biology and chemistry.
Yeah.
And the reason I got into that is because when I went to college, again, I was so focused on everything that I was doing outside college. It's like, look, I don't know what I want to do. All I know is that it's going to involve exercise probably or anything that has to do with that. So I remember the school counselor telling me you should probably just go the biology route. Right now, just get your core classes done, get a little bit further. You can specialize or figure out what you want to do later. Just right now, just knock out your histories, your Englishes or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I ended up just kind of keep going and going until it's just I'm just getting hard science degree now, I guess. I just got a biology degree. So how'd you get into recreational management? Was that from the beginning? I want to do this, or was it a similar thing
actually,
where you just kind of walked into it?
I actually was going to go for architecture.
Okay.
I was big into drawing. Took a architectural drawing class, an AP class in high school. And it was the one class that I really excelled at. I loved art and but being able to design and build something, draw a house. And
I'm sorry, this weird question. Yeah. Does your dyslexia have any influence on drawing architectural blueprint type things?
Probably, because I can read it better.
Whoa!
My mind pieces that type of stuff together better than words and that kind of thing. So
I did not know that was a thing.
I feel like that, and I didn't learn this until later in life, but I feel like that played a big role in my artistic abilities when I was younger.
Oh, okay.
Especially because I enjoyed it more.
Yeah.
I struggled tremendously with reading, and because of that, I think art was a safe place for me. So I excelled. I did a lot better in math. In art classes like that, and so being able to put pen to paper and design something that could actually be built, right? I could create something real. I really loved that. So I excelled. I was really good at that, and got a potential scholarship to go to school for it. But then the more I looked at it, I realized that an architecture spends the majority of the time in an office.
Oh,
I thought about it being outside with the buildings and being on site and that kind of stuff, which you do a little bit, but the majority of architects, they spend a lot of time in the office. And for me, the thought of that drove me away from the passion of the art, right? So the one thing I wanted to make sure was I was going to be outside. I wanted to do something where I wasn't going to be stuck in an office. I could have a little bit more freedom to do stuff in the outdoors.
That is so forward thinking, because that's only recent thoughts that I've had is literally thinking about the type of work that you want to outsource versus do yourself. And a lot of times you forget work is, there's going to be a place where you do it. Do you want to be sitting in front of a computer for 8 hours a day, or do you want to be maybe not?
Yep.
And to be able to think that at that age, where you're at is insane. That's like really like.
Well, I think I thought that at
Good.
that age too, because my whole family were really big in recreation at the time. I had gotten, I'd gotten into rock climbing and camping and hiking and those kind of things was always something big that my family did. And I knew that I struggled in the classroom, right? So I kind of related this classroom to like an office. Like that type of work really seemed very similar to me. But what I loved doing was being outdoors. And I worked at summer camps. I loved working with kids and helping other people experience the outdoors in a lot of different ways. And I think just that experience that I had growing up, even through college, I worked at summer camps and helped lead recreation programs. And that was really, I just wanted to do something that was going to make me happy.
Yeah.
And I knew that sitting in the classroom, I wasn't happy, but being out and hands-on and that kind of stuff did. So I just chose a major that was going to allow me to do those things.
Yeah.
Even though I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do.
That's funny.
But I knew I had a sense, like a little bit of a business sense.
Yeah.
Like my first jobs growing up, I was running my own lawn mowing business. Like that's kind of early on.
For sure.
And so knowing that I could get that degree as well by adding on just a few classes because I already had a management concentration in recreation.
Yeah.
It was easy enough to add that on and get both of them. So that's, but like I said, I got in and out. There was no interest in getting a master's or continuing my education.
Yeah.
I wanted to get out into the real world and experience more.
I just wanted money.
Yeah.
It's just like, I'm tired of like being in college sucked for me. It's like, I just, and it's just like, having money is pretty good when you don't have it, compared to. So I was just like, I'm ready to get out and just make some money. So
same. And I came from a family that didn't have any money.
Yeah.
And my big thing was one of my biggest goals was putting myself in a position where I didn't have to struggle and be stressed about money the way I had always had to live with my family.
Yeah.
But also then to help my family get to that position as well.
That's really.
And so I was just always driven. Unfortunately, I think at times I was almost too driven by money and finances because of the struggles that had caused me in my younger days. So until you find that financial freedom a little bit, and it's still today, I'm very comfortable.
Yeah.
But it's always in the back of your mind of knowing what it feels like. But at the same time, I survived it so I can take risks. If I have to go back to that one day, I'll be all right. I'll pull myself back out. But yeah, it's definitely something coming out of college, like you're thinking about that. So you wanted to make money, but coming out of college, what was your plan to make money? You had a biology degree.
I just wanted to I was just doing the same thing I'd always done. It was like, I just wanted a job that didn't get in my way. But at the same time, it's like, I needed money. I can't just live with my parents forever. It's a lot harder. And this is 2006, 7, 8, 9. Yep. So of course the market was a little weird.
We finished up around the same time.
Yeah. And today it's like really hard for kids to get out of their parents' house. Like it's common to be living with your parents until you're 30-ish. Mm-hmm. That's not something to be embarrassed about. I lived with my parents until I was 27 or 28.
Yeah. Man. I mean, well, the ability to afford a house these days and
it's crazy.
I mean, if you look at the 70s versus today, I just read something.
Do you see the TV one where the guy equates a down payment on a house versus how many TVs it would take to buy it? So in 1970 or something, it was like you can make a down payment on a house with the price of 8 TVs. Whereas today it's like it would take 240 TVs or something. So he was basically making, this is an Instagram reel. I thought it was really clever. He's basically making a point that's just like, yes, luxury, technology goods and comfort things like that. We don't need those. We need a place to live.
Right.
That is way more expensive than it used to be.
TVs have gotten cheaper.
So these Dave Ramseys of the world, these Susan Ormonds picking on people for buying a Starbucks or buying a smartphone need to shut their mouths.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
a lot harder. It is. And I think if you look at what you needed to make the minimum wage in the 70s, you needed to buy a house compared to today. It would need to match that buying power today. Minimum wage would have to be $66 an hour.
Yeah.
For minimum wage in order to match the buying power that minimum wage had in the 70s. So I get your point.
It's a different world.
And so we were able to get out of the house. I mean, rent wasn't as crazy either. I rented for forever and bounced all over the country in different cities and was able to do that a lot easier. But so what did you do? Coming out of college, what was your first job?
So I did the thing where I just started putting my resume places, and it took about 4 or 5 months to get a company to call me back, interview me. And then a month later, they hire me. And It was a biology job. It was in the tech space, which I didn't know was a thing. And so it was like biotechnology, like the equipment that they actually use in a lab. And I worked that job for 7 years until my fitness business started making so much more money that I quit the job. And I've made a couple videos on this. There's some of my more referenced and more appreciated videos when I meet people in person. Like I quit my day job, and another one I did, I basically talk about my philosophy of that. And we could talk a little bit about that here because I think it's a good message. I think it gets overlooked, and I think it stood the test of time because this is like 8 or 9 years ago. And it's like people are still like, that still makes sense. Your ideas and those.
Well, tell me about it.
So just one quick step back again. I'm working this job, and it's like this job pays, I think, $33,000 a year is what I was making, and I never got a raise. The company just didn't have enough money to give people raises. So I'm paying my employees now to do menial jobs, more money than I made out of college. You know what I mean?
With a biology degree.
With a biology degree, but I was okay with it because this job was pretty easy. So I figured out after working there for about a year, I figured out a way to do like, it's an 8-hour day, but there's really only like 3 or 4 hours of work, I figured out a way to do those 3 or 4 hours of work in like an hour or so. Like I started taking my own computer to work. I started like hacking their software a little bit, customizing it, learning things, like figuring out macros and automation processes. They didn't know I was doing this in the background, trying to figure out how to do my job better so that I could spend more time at work building a fitness business, editing videos for Instagram later when that came out, and then working out. So it got to the point where I was trying to work out. I just wanted the job to get out of my way. After about a year or two there, I went in my boss's office and was like, look, I want a 2-hour lunch break. You guys haven't been able to give me a raise or whatever. I'll come in an hour earlier. Just give me a 2-hour lunch break so I can work out. They're like, okay, sure, whatever. Doesn't matter. It's not like
you're still gonna get the job done.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And that was the point. So I start like having these really long lunch breaks, come back, sweating my ass off, have to buy a bunch of fans and stick them under the tables in my office and do this with my shirt to get my back sweat to cool off, and to go in the bathroom and rinse my face with water because it's Alabama. I'm working out. I'm training outside at 104 degrees.
So I was gonna ask, So you're working out at work?
I would drive to a park and do acrobatics in a field and film it. And this is hell.
So at this point, are you doing more lifting or more acrobatics?
Both too.
Okay.
So I started lifting weights, when I got that gym membership, and then around a few years after that, I found out like I really like deadlifts. They're really cool, and people seem to really care when you go up in weight. So then I got bit by the weightlifting bug. Yep. Kept doing that. Got into bodybuilding in my late 20s, about 5 years after being at this job. Building a fitness business. I got this easy job that's stays out of my way. I'm trying to figure out ways to do all this stuff and building my fitness business on the side. Okay, so
and so freeze there for a second. So the fitness business on the side.
Yeah.
What is that? What is
I wrote
the
a
business?
book.
Okay.
Legendary Flexibility. It's a fucking hard book to write. Excuse my language, but like the outline for that, I was like, my goal with this book is to change the way people think about flexibility. That's like saying, I want to write a book to change the way people think about strength. Full stop.
Yeah.
Like that's a big ask.
Yeah.
And I feel like with that book, I did it. And I still think that I'm working on a second edition. It's been about 10 years. I'm excited. I got some new ideas. But that book, I think, has stood the test of time.
And what was it at that time? So you wrote your first book.
I'm writing it at work.
When you were what, mid-20s?
Late 20s.
Late 20s?
Yeah.
Okay. So at late 20s, think about, authors writing books, especially with a statement like that.
Uh-huh.
What gave you the go? What made you think you had the knowledge and experience to do something? Like you said, it was a big ask.
I don't want to be arrogant, but everybody else is wrong. I knew it.
And that was through your experience, through martial arts, through lifting, kind of just
through training, my results. I did a chair split video with 100 pounds. I could just
since you mentioned it, where did that fall into all this? Where
the chair split video?
Yeah.
So when I started, I try to keep this short here. Started Instagram in 2014, started posting like a normal person. Here's my food. Here's a pump. Here's a filtered photo. Here's this or that. I didn't post, and this is like long after I'd done acrobatics and stuff. So I was kind of like just posting gym stuff.
Yeah.
They didn't know on my profile on that page, they didn't know about the acrobatics and the splits. So I posted splits.
So is this still kind of around the same time, late 20s?
Yes.
Your late 20s?
Uh-huh.
Okay. So all around this time, you're building your business. You're starting on Instagram.
Yeah.
You post a chair split video that goes viral.
So I post a split, the chair split video. This is important, I think. I post a picture of me doing the splits and it gets like 1,000 likes compared to like 20 or 40.
Yeah.
I'm like, people like that. I'm going to do it again. It's like, what can I do? Well, I can add weight. I never thought about that. So I do one where I like have video. I do a video and I have like weight plates and I do this thing. And again, it's just like that one just tripled my followers. I went from like almost 2,000 to like 6,000 followers.
So this is where the light bulb goes off where combine, you already had the strength training and the acrobatics.
Yeah. And I was very muscular too.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is where now the light bulb goes off where if you combine the two, you think people are going to really be drawn. You're seeing now people are interested in the combination.
It's just kind of like, I'm going to lean into this, like being a large guy doing things shtick, you know? Yeah. And so, after a few different variations of the splits posting, I eventually do the one with the barbell overhead, which is really hard to do. And that one goes mega viral, Yeah. So I went from like, I want to say like 6,000-ish followers maybe to like 100,000 and like that. And then all of a sudden I'm getting a bunch of emails from people wanting to do things. I'd never had that happen before. And the feeling I got, Cody, the first 24 hours was the feeling that you get when you do something wrong in school and you think that you're going to get in trouble. So I was like, I think I did something wrong. Like I feel unsafe. I feel like I'm about to get in trouble. Something bad's about to happen. And then after 24 hours passes and I start actually like reading a little bit more of these emails coming in from these people, like, we want to fly out to California. We want to do a photo shoot. We want you to be on America's Got Talent, all these things. And then I realized, oh, this is a good thing.
You start to feel positivity around it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a crazy thought to think because you think what bad could come from that, right?
Yeah.
But when that type of attention is new, what else are you going to think? You've never had that kind of attention before.
No.
So your mind instantly goes to, oh shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
What happens next? And thank God it was the positive.
Mm-hmm.
Someone else looking into that, I'd be like, well, what else could it be other than positivity, right? Like that, you just did an amazing feat that no one else has ever done. And I remember when I first saw that video, I mean, the only reaction you have is, holy shit, that's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And so off of that, then you're able to show all these other impressive feats of strength and flexibility and everything that you can do.
I had more there. I had more substance. I had been doing this for 16 years at that point, basically. And it was just kind of like, oh, this is what they don't want to see, the filtered photo of my gym pump in the bathroom. Yep. They want to see me doing my tricks. They want to see me doing the splits. So I started posting that stuff and editing little mini videos. And then it just started, like, I leaned into it. I was like, this is great. This is what I want to do anyway. I didn't know this is what they wanted.
So at that point, then you felt like that was your new path.
Yeah.
So take me back then, because I feel like that happened while you were working at your job.
Mm-hmm. It did.
And I'm going to guess that's kind of what led to you quitting your job.
Eventually, yeah. It took about 2 years. I started writing the book around the same time. I'm starting to grow the Instagram. I'm going to my lunch break filming things, editing them when I get back. Because, I'm good at my job. I can finish it as long as the work gets done. Okay, you can think whatever you want about this. But eventually it gets to the point, about 1 year later, I release the book. I release a pants product, which is a different story. It's a good story, and I still work with that guy today. But it was October 2016. I made more in 1 week than I did an entire year's worth of salary at my day job.
And what were you monetizing at that point?
Just the book.
The book, okay.
Just the book and the pants I was selling as well. But
you weren't monetizing anything through social media, right?
The only payment I got up to that point through social media, no YouTube or anything, no ad payments, nothing like that, was I remember the first time I got paid for anything that I'd ever done athletically was the chair split video. The company, I licensed it to a company called Jujimufu Media, which they treated me really well, and I still work with them today. They're great people. I think they're a different name now. But they bought the rights to the clip, and they you get 80%, we get 20% of anywhere that we can sell this to and feature it. And they have access to all sorts of buyers. And so they start selling it to different people, bigger name companies. And I can remember one night I'm sitting there on the TV and a Google commercial during the Olympics has me on it. and they don't tell me before they put me on commercials. They never do. They never will.
Because they bought the rights to it.
They just, they do. And then they can't, they just don't let you know. So I'm just like, oh shit, I'm on TV. That's it. Cha-ching. I know I'm going to get paid in 3 months because the turnaround's about 90 days from the time the ad is finished running for them to have net 90 for these big companies to pay the rights for those licensed clip. So, that really helps spread. People know me as a chair split guy for that. It's great. But Juke and Media helped me out a lot. And I remember the first time they paid me, I got a $200 check in the mail. I go, Mom, Dad, look, I finally got paid like $200 to do the splits. And now that video has paid me like $100,000 in its lifetime so far. But I mean, dude, like what a great decision that was that one afternoon to move all the furniture out of my living room and set up the camera on the coffee table and just do that stunt.
Well, and just to think, maybe people want to see this, right? You're just willing to try something new.
I want to see if I can do it. Well, the other thing is like when I had the idea to do that, it just seemed like something that was like, this should have been done before. You know, the barbell sliding. It's like, and I was like, no, this hasn't.
Now, was that your?
It's like I got to be the first person to do this.
Was that your first time attempting it?
Yeah, it was.
Like that day, you turned on the camera, you tried it a few times, little by little, you added more weight, and then
I started going up in weight until I felt like, well, what's a respectable amount of weight? 100 pounds. Okay, what can I make 100 pounds look like more? You put a 10 and a 15 breadcrumb on a 45-pound plate with some locks, you got about 100 pounds.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So that's what I did. I'm not lying about the weight. It's just CrossFit plates look like plates.
Yep. It looks like 135.
People think it looks like 225.
Right.
You know, because it's two.
Oh, that's right. If you look at the number of plates.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I've had people come up to me at Expo and be like, dude, the 225. Wow, it's crazy.
I don't care if you were holding just the bar. That's impressive.
Yeah, it's still hard enough as it is. Yeah, but I wanted to be, when I had the idea in my head, when I was already posting those splits videos, I was like, oh crap, I cannot let someone beat me to this. So I was scared that someone was going to do it before me. I was like, this is too obvious. Social media is growing really quick. So, you know, after I recovered my groin and stuff and kind of rested for a few days, I was like, okay, I think I'm going to do it today. So I cleared out the living room and did it, posted it 20 minutes later. And that's when the internet freaked out, you know. And I think the thing why you think you kind of get in trouble, like that feeling I was talking about, it's because most people don't have the experience of things being out of their control of where it goes.
Right.
It was being reshared on all these like foreign Facebook pages and languages I couldn't read. And it was like, and all these other people are reposting it everywhere. And I'm like, I don't have control over it. I don't know what this is. I mean, of course, we're familiar with this now. It's called being viral.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
back then, yeah, it takes on a life of its own.
Yeah.
And there, you set it free and there it goes. You had a story about you leaving your job.
Yeah.
Right. And you felt like there was a good lesson learned that you've shared before. So when you got to the point where everything was growing and you made that decision to leave your job, tell me that story real quick.
Sure. So it was October of 2016. I quit in December. So just to give you just a little, there's about 2 or 3 months there where, you know, I made more money in that week that I opened the web store, sold that book and everything than I did an entire year of my day job because my salary is $32K a year. I think I made $40K that month, that first month I opened shop. So I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
But I still didn't feel, you know, money's an emotional thing. Remember at the beginning of this conversation, we talked about money is more emotional than people want to say it is. So I still didn't feel okay to quit. Like, this is a perfectly good job. I do like this. I don't hate this job. Like, I'm comfortable going into the work.
It's
consistent. I'm kind of like, it felt like a waste. And so I worked it for another 2 or 3 months to continue to make money. And then my dad's pretty conservative. He's pretty like, you know, like, be safe, like no risk, very risk averse.
Very common for parents of that in that
He's an old Southern man from Columbus, Georgia, who grew up with very poor. Very, very poor. Like he told me he's the kid that your other kids, the parents didn't want them playing with. You know what I mean? Like, stay away from those kids. They're like rabid animals. But I talked to him about it and he looked at me like I was an idiot. He's like, quit your job. Like, what are you talking about? Well, like, to get him to confirm that it's like, it was like, what are you doing? Of course it's safe. Like, look at what you did. Yeah. Like, get out of that. Because I sat there one afternoon and I did the math. I was like, I'm going to sit here for the entire day and really like, how much do tires cost on my car to replace them? Every little, the travel, the gas, the time, the having to do this, all the actual cost of my job besides the taxes. I did all that math. I was like, this job is actually costing me money to keep when I go really deep into the math of what I have to do to keep it. So I was like, it's a no brainer. Like I got to go full in on my fitness side hustle or whatever you want to call it at the time. So I did. And it's been that way for 10 years. I'm good.
That's awesome. I want to shift gears a little bit and I want to get to know you a little bit. So everyone kind of knows you as the anaerobic acrobat?
The name I used a while back was the Anabolic Acrobat.
Anabolic Acrobat. And so that version and the chair split and now Jujimufu, aside from all that, because everyone has this persona built in their head, right? About who you are from what they see online. But who is Jon Call, right? Who are you? Who would your wife say you are, right? What type of person are you outside of all that?
I think I am the same person I am on my videos. Just the volume level just changes up and down, because when people see like certain personalities online, they expect it like a loud personality. They expect it to be loud all the time. And so it's like, I've never met a single person, no WWE superstar, no famous, this guy is like this crazy dude on TV. Not a single one has been consistently high volume off camera.
Right.
They all like modulate. It could be like very similar, but the volume level scales up and down because like it's just, we have social awareness.
Yeah. And I think the difference there too, you talk about wrestlers, that's a character. One of the things I noticed from you to get to know you today is it's not a character, right? It is you, right? You're the same person that I hung out with today that I've seen online as well, which is, I think you're a very genuine person, which I really appreciate.
Oh, appreciate that. Thank you.
I think it allowed us to connect and bond a little bit more today and have a great time.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that. And just knowing that who I'm sitting down with today is the same person I saw on crazy videos for a while. So that's great. Very cool. So what's outside of fitness and acrobat, you may not have time for it, but what do you do in life? Like what's some of the fun stuff that you like to do outside of what everyone sees online?
It sounds really kind of like depraved or something's wrong with me, but like my downtime is just cleaning and organizing things.
Yeah.
I just I either listen to a podcast or put in some music, and I just, I clean, organize, or just rearrange, edit my environment. That feels good. Like I need that time, because constantly being present on social media, like I have to turn off my phone a lot just to be like, just walk away from it. Just turn it off. Sometimes I'll put a timer on it for 3 hours. Like don't touch it. First 20 minutes is kind of itchy. You know what I mean? Like anyone that's, have been around smartphones for a second, we all are, and knows what that feels like. Just like, it's a lot different when you're a creator.
Yeah.
Because so many freaking people contact you all the time. And it's just like, you got to constantly follow up. The moment you start answering messages or show that you saw a message, like now they saw that I saw it, I have to respond. Now it's a Hydra. Now we're back and forth. And it's like, now multiply that by, I got 2 million followers on Instagram, 2 million on YouTube almost. Like, what do you think? Like what that's like?
Can't imagine how many.
It's absurd. So it's like, I'm an introvert. Like I don't use that as an excuse. Nobody can tell because it's my job to be social and personal. But really, like my recharging time is by myself. And sometimes it's hard to get that when you have a job like this. I'm not complaining. I'm not, I'm just saying like things are a little different when you're in this position to get some privacy or just some time to yourself. So in terms of like downtime, what I like to do for fun, like I like gardening. I like doing things in the yard. I like cleaning, editing in the environment, changing things, trying things like this, setting up for new workouts. I am absolutely obsessed with exercise and training and working out. That's genuine. I'm an athlete first, a content creator second.
Yeah.
I think about exercise almost all day long.
Right. And I think that's
obsessed with it.
And from what I've seen too, I think that's a great part of this. I ask what you do for fun, and I know that you love fitness and acrobatics and all that. So that you do that for fun. That is a kind of your happy place.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that, I think that's why what you do is magic, because you take that passion and you're able to create content around that.
Mm-hmm.
And so you get to enjoy what you do. But the social media side of things can be a whirlwind sometimes, right? Like it can consume you. And I was going to kind of get to that with you being, as popular as you are online. So you said you use a timer, but for your own
you want to know some tricks on smartphone hygiene? So we can go down the list right there, man. I got some tricks up my freaking sleeve.
What do you do to manage that and to make sure that it's not getting in the way of the relationship and you have a healthy balance? Because you do seem healthy about it, right?
Well, I got to watch her. She's off camera right now. My wife, Sam. I got to make sure that she's not staring at my comment sections when I'm not looking.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because she gets defensive of me and she goes in. And I have I'm lucky I got a good reputation.
Yeah.
Because I don't post political content or anything that's going to be inflammatory like that.
You keep it safe. But still the time and just your eyes on the screen, right? Just that alone, whether it's negative stuff or positive stuff, just being consumed in it is unhealthy. We know that. So, and you do seem like a person that tries to keep that balance. What are some of the tricks you have in the ways that you keep your popularity online balanced with having a healthy lifestyle as well?
God dang. That's a broad question, and it's an important one to answer.
I mean, you mentioned you have you'll set it down for 3 hours and not touch it.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Well, we can start with that for a second.
Yeah.
Okay. People think that when you're your own boss, right? So you're your own boss. Let me ask you a question. Do weekends still feel like weekends to you?
When I prioritize it. Yeah. And that's the important thing for me, right? We run our events on Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
If I have a Saturday morning event, I never do a Sunday event.
Okay.
Because that's my time with my family, right?
Okay.
And because of the uniqueness of the business that we run here, my wife is working all week, my kids are in school all week, and the weekends are time for my family. But I do the events on Saturdays.
Good job with that, by the way. Yeah.
Thanks. So we do have to find that balance.
Mm-hmm.
So there's weekends where I'll just block off the calendar.
Yeah.
Make sure that we get that, and
we don't
have anything. Right. And my wife fully understands. I mean, she runs it with me, the events and stuff with me. But for our kids' sake, we got to make sure that we're giving them our full attention when we have time as a family together. So, like I said, so I'll make sure that Sundays are our family time if we have an event on Saturday, or vice versa.
Yeah.
So not allowing myself, I don't take every opportunity that comes.
Yes.
Right. So I turn things down. I don't want to overpack our schedule. This is never intended to be a 365-day event space, right?
Yeah.
We want to host some cool events throughout the month. But the reason I sold my last business was to spend time with my family and to really get.
Don't want to make the same mistake twice.
Right. So making sure I'm keeping that balance has always been a priority from day one.
Yeah.
Especially since we live here, right? So there's a privacy factor too. We have people coming out to our property all the time. So managing that is
case in point.
Yeah. But when we have large events, it's people coming out and we love that. We love hosting. My son, he's got his little egg business and he sells eggs to people that come. Yeah. So we as a family, we love doing it.
Uh-huh.
But there's still that importance of making sure that we have family time as well.
Yeah. I try to protect weekends on my schedule when some people are only free on the weekends and they're like, I can only do Saturday or Sunday. And I'm like, can't do it then. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Because I really know if I don't have that time, I'm going to lose my mind. Right. You're doing and the stuff that you got going on, like when I saw what you were doing, I was like, this guy is doing what I want to do with a farm and a gym combined. Like he's already done it.
Your first easy step is the chickens.
Okay.
Right. And there's a lot of different ways you can do it. Right. You can free range them. You can put them, I have a big pasture fenced in. We didn't talk about the hawk net that I have over top though.
Oh,
that's one of the biggest things you got to worry about. We've lost like 5 chickens to hawks.
Yeah.
So I've got a really tight net that I built just out of fishing line.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
I never actually asked you what that was.
Yeah. So that's just to keep the hawks out.
Well, it looks cool.
Yeah. I mean, and it allows me to have a bigger pasture with goats and chickens. You can't get a net.
It's fishing
that big,
line?
right? It's just 50-pound test fishing line that thousands of yards
Catch
of
a catfish.
that I did. So yeah, first of all, you got to get yourself some chickens. You got eggs every day. You can go out and get. You have a rooster, you can hatch your own eggs moving forward too, right? So all of our chickens, we grow our flock by, incubating our own eggs and grow them out that way.
You got the farm, man.
Yeah. So bees are the one of the things that we're looking to add soon, and a couple more beef cattle as well. But we're pretty good on our livestock and what we're going to have here for right now, and we're just looking to grow the business and grow our exposure, but getting more fun guests out here. We got our farm games coming up in October.
Yeah.
We got a few more fun guests coming out, and it's been a pleasure having you here. Thank you for being one of our first guests out here.
Well, appreciate
to do this. And it's been a pleasure getting to know you. You're an amazing guy. Looking forward to keeping in touch and staying friends.
Let's stick together, man.
Again. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate it. We'll talk soon.
All right.
Everyone, thank you very much.
You're not wearing a cowboy hat.
You're welcome.
You said what?
I am.
Oh, you are? Oh yeah. Ha! You tear the tag off.
Yeah.
Howdy, partner.
Beautiful.
Does that work?
That is perfect. Now you put it on backwards again.
I didn't. No.